What would you say to the people who are a little afraid?
First of all, I would say that it is your right to be afraid of the process, especially because for so long the process has been in a vacuum, and also for so long the process has taken several years to develop a vaccine. So the first thing that I want to remind people is that just because the virus came out in, I guess, the end of December of last year in China, and became a pandemic around March, people, including my team and lots of people all over the world, have been studying coronavirus vaccine development for years. So the patent actually for which the vaccine was designed was filed in 2017 or 16 or 17, because we knew how to design a vaccine based on MERS coronavirus and SARS coronavirus and all of the other coronaviruses that had already, we know, to be effective to humans. And so it wasn't necessarily so novel that coronaviruses could infect humans. We actually called them poised for pandemic potential because these viruses can jump from animals into humans, and they have done that obviously before because we've been had an outbreak with MERS and SARS before. And so there's lots of long research that has gone into coronavirus vaccine development. We understood how they work in these types of vaccines work in animals like mice and monkeys. And so you know, when the sequence of this virus came out on January the 10th of this year, we knew what to do. And so part of the timeline for vaccine development, a large bulk of that is spent on just the research part. And then there's the development. But because we had the research so figured out, it shortened the trajectory to clinical trial. And so you hear Operation Warp Speed a lot, and Operation Warp Speed is birthed out of the idea that you can shorten the timeline in the clinic because you can overlap the different phases of the trial by essentially at risk developing the vaccine towards the idea that it might be licensed, which means billions of dollars are spent, but also, you know, millions of lives will be saved because you'll cut the trajectory of the vaccine development down. And so as we were in phase 1 clinical trial, we got, you know, clear safety signals from that. And then phase 2 was initiated, but before the phase 1 is actually completely over. And then from phase 2, you get the type of signal that you want. And then phase 3 can be initiated when it was initiated at the end of July. And with the safety signal and the type of efficacy signal, which means does the vaccine work or not, we're thinking we'll probably get those types of signal at least by the end of November, but hopefully and probably sooner. We'll know how well the vaccine works before the clinical trial is actually over. These clinical trials last for, they're dedicated, people are dedicated to these clinical trials for years, but you can get the clear signals before they're actually over. And I think that's the thing that's not necessarily translated to the general public before this moment. But what you should know is that when the vaccine goes to market, if it does go to market for general public, that hundreds of thousands of people would have been tested. That actually up to this point, you know, around 40,000 people have already been tested and gotten the vaccine. People that are in our families, people that are my friends, people with my boss's family, etc. And so we believe in the vaccine safety profile and how it works, and would certainly not let anybody get it if we did not feel it was safe. And the layers of which vaccine safety is vetted is not just on the level of us, but on the level of, you know, the FDA, etc. There are tons of people that look at this data and determine its safety. You know, there are lots of misconceptions because it's a vaccine that is with a new technology. So mRNA technology is new to the vaccine world. It's actually not new to the cancer therapeutic world, but because it's new to the vaccine world, people have hesitancy around that. But what I will say is that the vaccine portfolio across the world is extremely broad. And so even if you have hesitancy around the mRNA platform, our patent has been used in multiple platforms, Johnson & Johnson's, Novavax, etc. And so pick your sauce, but get your vaccine, and so that you are protected. And understanding, some people deliver their vaccines differently, however it may be, but knowing that all of them together are being vetted in a very clear and organized process. And I would get it. I actually wish that the ethics department would let me just have it now.